Hi, I punctured this year on the Three Peaks cyclocross. Looking back over the various years, it does happen, and it happens to a lot of people. And I was just interested in what had happened in the last few years, really, in tyre technology. I think things have improved really since obviously we've had a lot of technological changes since the Three Peaks came along. I've been through different phases of things. My first race was in 1995, and I've been through all sorts of tyre and tub combos and all sorts. And of course, we didn't have tubeless then. We originally used to have our clinchers absolutely rock hard. I've ridden it on tubulars quite a lot. I had some Tuffo T34s, which I don't make anymore. Very strong sidewall tubular that was, I think, 35 mil, 34 mil. And more recently, like the rest of the world, I've gone to tubeless clinchers. Now, I was just interested in where we are in the kind of state of the nation, really. I won't mince my words. I was pissed off that I punctured. It ruined your race, and it compounded for me because I then had a problem with my spare wheel, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't punctured. My daughter Elsie also punctured, and I think it's important to say I had prepped my tyres in the same way as I have done for the last few editions and managed to not puncture then. So I know that there's various things going on. Anyway, let's take a look at these results because fantastically, I've had 55 responses, which I think is pretty positive. I only put this out through Facebook, and a lot of people have taken the time to respond, and I appreciate that. I think if we look at this, the number of responses we've had, I very much think that people who did puncture are more likely to fill in a survey like this. But I don't know, I'm not sure. So here we go, we've got just under 20%, so roughly a fifth of people have did puncture in this year's Three Peaks. So that's interesting in itself. So we've got the kind of core questions here, and then allowed people to say other. So these are people who did not puncture. Cocky devils like me as well, if I was in that situation, would have said I didn't puncture because I got my pressures and my lines right. Now, there's a lot of truth in that, really. I personally punctured because I was caught up in a bit of traffic, and it had really got on my nerves coming down Whernside, and eventually when I was let off the leash, I just went too fast and I hit one of the storm drains and I was just on the edge. So yeah, a lot of people who didn't puncture rightly think they got everything right, and I think that's fair enough. They got the pressures right, as a few of them said. Line choices, we all know it makes a big difference, so I just mentioned that. Some people, 12 people said they went too slow to puncture. Very honest, and it's another good way of not puncturing. What are the other responses here? Land Cruisers, that's a classic. Yeah, that people have gone into the type of tyres they've used. 70 psi, yeah, you're not going to puncture. Whoever that is, he or she is probably still trembling. Let's go on to the next question. So this is if you did puncture. Too many people, 8 people said too fast, bad lines, got it wrong. Fair enough, I'm one of those. I haven't responded to the survey, by the way. Bad prep and pressure, yeah, I think I've seen that happen before. People who are new to the race and are used to riding gravel, say, aren't maybe used to the 35 mil restriction, and it's easy to get your tyre pressures wrong, I think, for a race like that if you don't know the terrain very well, despite all the information that's out there on the net. And we've got some others here. Technical faults. Valves can sometimes not be in right and things like that. Sometimes you have a slow puncture that gets worse with the base tape and things like that. It's particularly with tubeless. It's sort of a bit edgy technology, really. It's not totally settled. Someone said hit the hard pack descent after the bog. Unsure of cause. got one flat on Ingborough in 2023, older Gravel King model. Yeah, I think the vast majority of people accept that they were going too fast. Really, it's 8 people out of the 18 respondents who punctured. Tubeless without liners is quite high. I know it's liners are a art in themselves, but yeah, I think I was quite surprised at that number, to be honest. Although having said that, my spare tyres didn't have liners in because my spare wheels, because I've only got so much money to throw at this. So yeah, I understand there's a cost involved with all of this. It's quite hard. Tubeless with liners. These aren't people who punctured. This is just the general thing. So it's really big majority. Land Cruisers 70 psi. Yeah, that's the same person. And yeah, I know why you've done it, and you'll have got through. So well done, you. Now we get on to sort of the question about whether people would do things differently. Nothing to do with tyres at all. Someone's referred to their cleats, bless them. Yeah, Land Cruisers are very heavy tyres. It's one of those trade-offs, really. And I think that basically, this is my favourite. I tried 42mm tyres and put a 35mm sticker on them. Yeah, I get that. There's a lot changed in bikes recently. The 35mm restriction that we have in the Three Peaks was put about in times when John Rawnsley and the team organising were really concerned about mountain bikes taking over. That was the threat of the day, really, because it didn't particularly look good in a national park to have mountain bikes there because of the threat of people on leisure cycling trips. I'm guessing, coming back and riding where they're not allowed to, really, because a lot of the Three Peaks takes place, as you know, on paths we're only allowed to race on once a year. It's interesting. I think, yeah, maybe the 35mm thing has had its day. I think you could probably go a little bit wider. Yeah, wheels with wider rims too. I noticed this year my 35mm Panaracer tyres came on my caliper as just about 39mm because of the width of the rim, which is quite amazing, really. It's quite a big difference. That someone said crush cores, which are, I've written crush cores, but good liners, I know, do allow you to run lower pressure. My liner didn't stop me puncturing, but it did help me to ride down from the middle of Whernside this year to Ribblehead, and yeah, I think it's worth paying the extra. There's a lot of people referring to liners here. Yeah, this response here, it's quite interesting. That making sure you got the tech absolutely right, so the best sealant you can get, correct width of tape, tyres that really do nip onto the rim perfectly. Yeah, so you can concentrate on getting everything right. There's a temptation with tubeless to think you've got everything right, but even one ingredient that's slightly out can mess up the balance, really. So yeah, some people saying they wouldn't do anything differently, and that's great. And I wish them luck, because I'm always thinking I'll do something differently in the Three Peaks. It's just how I work. Final thoughts. Ride smoother. Yeah, I hear you. There's a difference between racing and rushing, isn't there? I think you've got to make sure you get over the whole course smoothly. Some people making Cinturato references a couple of times as well. I know they're meant to be good tyres. I've never ridden them. They're quite a decent, strong sidewall, so I understand. Yeah. Someone said sell some merch. I'll have to pass that one on to Dean. So yeah, I think it's been a worthwhile survey. I was expecting a few more people to talk about the width of the tyres. I was expecting a few more people to perhaps go into some of the specifics of the brands. But yeah, it's been an interesting experience, and like me, I think a lot of people are, learning from what goes wrong all the time and trying to recycle all that energy into something positive for next year. So 2026, I don't want to be having this conversation again. I want us all to get through it cleanly. So good luck. Thank you to the people who responded. Really appreciate it. I know it was a short survey, but there's all sorts of crap like this around. So it's really appreciated that you've taken the time to do it. And any other thoughts or ideas that come, or if you miss a survey, pop it in the comments. See you on the start line in September 2026.